Hello, this is Nick here from Gorgon Reviews. I'm talking with Dillon Tucker, the director and writer of the film Pure O. Pure O is about a man finding out that he has a rare form of obsessive compulsive disorder and its effects on his life, his friends, and loved ones as he tries to cope with this recognition and try to fix his life for the better. Today is actually the official release date of your film, so thank you so much for spending time on such a big day for you to talk about this movie and experience.
No, thank you for using your platform to help elevate us and get it out into the world. Appreciate you.
First off, you probably get this question a lot, but what was the first movie you remember seeing in theaters growing up?
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, I have had this. The first movie that I remember seeing in theaters, gosh, I actually don't know that one. They were just asking me the first film that I saw that was like impactful. First, I don't even know. I mean, I'm trying to think. Probably, I think like Jurassic Park is the first one that I really remember going to and just like it just the impact of that of seeing the dinosaurs on screen when I was a kid. I'd probably say Jurassic Park's the first one I really remember the theatrical experience from.
It's actually mine too.
Oh wow, really? Oh yeah, must be
Must be
about the same
similar
age
aged.
then. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
So normally when I look up the director or writer on IMDb, they usually have a same path before their big first picture release feature
Mhm.
film. They'll do a bunch of short films before they get it off. But you, not you, because your first written credit was the feature film That Side of a Shadow,
Yeah,
and the shorts came later. So how did
yeah.
you get into that position?
Um, yeah, it's funny. I haven't really done many shorts, and a lot of shorts I've done are actually like because I'm a singer-songwriter, so they've been more like short form music content with pairing with some visuals and stuff. I've done some shorts, but more as an actor. I've actually never written a short, and I've never directed a short. Um, I don't know why that is. I think that I wear a lot of different hats, and so I just think that whenever I see the budget for a short, I guess my mind is just always thinking bigger, and I'm like, how can I just take that money and make a feature? So I think I'm driven to feature films. I think short films are great if you have a specific idea you want to try out, or maybe there's something like cinematically you've been wanting to try and trying to find a little story for it. Um, a calling card, so to speak, or a business card that you can take around to try to get a bigger project made. There's a lot of reasons to make a short film, but I guess for whatever reason, I just sort of bypassed that and just kind of went straight to a feature and decided I was going to go for the bigger whale. And here I am.
Yeah. Piero is your first feature film at directing and the
Mm-hmm.
third feature film that you wrote.
Yeah.
Uh, what encouraged you to transition into directing? And did you always know the first directed movie would be such a personal project?
No, I've definitely heard that advice from a lot of people that the first one you direct should be really personal. No, I to be completely transparent with you, I come from an acting background. I went to drama school, and for a long time, I knew if you directed, it's more about a time commodity situation of just the time in your life that takes up. And I was more inclined to sort of write in the films and star in them, and kind of then I can go out and go make music and do other creative pursuits while the film's being finished and come back to it and make the next one. And I think eventually I just hit a point where I was like, you know what? I just want to have the control of having something really be my voice from start to finish. And specifically with this story being my story, with the nuances of it and the misunderstanding around OCD, I was like, I really think that this is the one that I need to be taking from start to finish to be there um, to understand all the nuances of that throughout the entire process of making the film. And I was driven to it, and I took to it like a duck to water. I love it so much. It's just become a confluence of all the different things that I enjoy, whether it's making music or directing actors, acting a little myself, writing, just all of the things, all combined into one. It's why I love cinema. I always say that I think cinema is the greatest art form because it combines all of, you have visual arts, you have music, you have humans and actors. You just have everything mixed into one art form. So I took to it and I love it.
Daniel Dorr did a wonderful job as the lead Cooper, but as you
Yes.
said, you're an actor and it's your story. So why'd you not cast yourself in the lead?
Eventually, that was the plan, and we were a really small indie production, and we had a producing partner who had to come off the project right before we were kind of like going into production on the film and pre-production. So that was something that got kicked around that I was considering. There was also the element of it too, where it was such a personal story that I thought it would be kind of fun to cast a real life couple and to like have them bring their own relationship, because a lot of the creative approach to the film was not necessarily about my own story. That was in the writing process. But once we got into making the film, I really wanted the actors to sort of bring as much of themselves as possible. So there was also that creative decision of bringing it, but that was kicked around as well. I was, for a long time that was the plan.
I did not know they were a real life couple.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
they're still a couple.
they are still a couple. Yes, yes.
The music scenes make a bit more sense now, also in that regard that they
Oh
had
yeah,
together.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
I'll switch to a music question because like I brought it
Sure.
up and you're a musician, and
Mm-hmm.
presumably the lead was a musician. I assumed he was actually singing. And he played Mozart in the Bill and Ted movie, so he has that
Right, right, right,
background.
right, right, right,
Uh,
right.
do you have anything specific you'd want to say about the music in the film overall? How it
Um,
added to the
yeah,
story?
no, no, sure. Actually, he's lip syncing to my voice, actually, singing in the movie. And and also I did this as a creative choice though, because I have no doubt that my actors could pull off anything. But I specifically used some music from that period of life, and so the whole project was sort of meta, deals with a relationship at the time. But a lot of the music is actually music that was done at the time with my actual ex and singing, and it's an autobiographical story. A lot of it is, and so I thought that using that would be sort of like a meta thing for the project that would be kind of cool.
I guess this is really just another musical piece you produce with some visuals, then, is one way to look at it,
I,
like the
I,
shorts.
I think everything I write, I write with music in mind,
Mhm.
whether it's my music or other music. I just find that that's one of the first things that comes into my mind during the writing process. I think that it helps set a tone for the film right off the bat. And especially with a film like Pure O, which I knew from the beginning, I decided that I wasn't going to have score. And so that having the music be the soundtrack and the diegetic sound of the music within the film was going to be a huge part of it. But yeah, no, that was a creative decision from the start.
Do you think you ever want to write a musical?
No, no, I don't like musicals particularly. Like, well, I should qualify that. I don't. I'm not particularly drawn to stories of the song and dance musicals, or the breaking of the fourth wall with the audience, where
Mhm.
I think it works really well with animation. But I like films that have music in them, though. So, films like films where the actual actors are musicians playing music a lot in the film. I love that. I love when it's actually coming from a naturalistic place and it's coming through the characters and through the course of the story. Love that. But the structure of a musical is not particularly my genre.
I was going to bring that up, that it had a John Carney atmosphere to it.
Mm,
So if that's what you were
yeah.
going for, great.
Yeah, no,
um,
absolutely. I wanted it to, obviously the characters are musicians, so
mhm.
having them perform within the scope of the story. I love that. Love that in films.
There was another actor in a movie whose name I don't have ready,
Mm.
but he had longer hair and was in the addiction
Oh
scenes.
yeah, Jeffrey A. Baker.
Yes, he had a lot of memorable lines and scenes, a lot of extremes going on with his character. Was he
Yeah.
based on someone you specifically knew in your counseling jobs?
Yeah, a lot of the characters are amalgamations, but yeah, there was one particular client that I worked with at the rehabs that was a lot of inspiration for him. But again, a lot of the characters in the films, everything's a bit of an amalgamation and different things. But yeah, I think that character itself represents a lot of the people in rehab, just the people that are not ready necessarily to get help, that are kind of the stick in the mud, that are in rehab, but they're not there by their choice. They're there because they were forced in there by their friends and family or by the legal system, or they're not necessarily there on their own volition. And he was just a representative of that, and that happens a lot working in rehabs.
What would you say is the hardest part in creating this movie?
Oh wow. I mean, the hardest part was just getting through physical production with a really small indie crew with limited resources. I mean, that's always the name of the game. Is you never get as many days as you want. You never get as much time as you want. And so the hardest part was just the actual physical production of getting through. It was a grueling shoot, a lot of sleepless nights, and just driving forth. And this film has a lot of locations for a small indie film, and just the logistical challenges of the physical production with a small crew was the most difficult part of the film.
And do you have any ideas where you want to go next?
Yeah, in terms of films, you mean, or what I'm
Mm-hmm.
doing?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I have a film that I was actually was working on before Pure O, that then the pandemic hit, and so that changed things. It shoots in a foreign country, and that country closed its borders, and so that was a big impetus for sort of pivoting and making Pure O in the meantime. Being from LA and being around a team of creatives from Los Angeles, it was more a film that we could shoot in our backyard on a small scale. But now I'm back on that film. It's a little bit more larger scale and shooting in a foreign country, and um, working on that and hoping to be rolling on that by end of year. So
Mm.
we'll see.
Once again, thank you so much for spending your time answering some questions about the making of Piro and how we got here. Piro is now available as a digital release and has presumably done well enough on the festival circuit, South by Southwest. I'm excited because after seeing this first film by you, so there's a little bit more pressure now on the second film. Sorry about that, but
No, no.
I'm sure you can
Pressure makes
rise.
diamonds. Pressure makes diamonds. It's welcome to pressure.
Done.
All
We're
right. Thank you
basically
so
on
much.
schedule again.
Fantastic. Appreciate you. Thank you.